the sports teams that exist. Certain countries have a big one or two, but we're proud to say our podcast is about the biggest team in the entire world.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah! This is the World's Team Podcast. All about the world's team, the Dallas Cowboys, baby. We're here to redefine what it means to be a fan of the gridiron game. It's not just America's team anymore. Nope. We're taking that star-studded pride and spreading it across the globe. Each week, we dive into all things Cowboys. From game analysis that'll have you on the edge of your seat, to reactions and all the latest news. Whether it's free agency frenzy, draft day drama, or injury reports that make us want to hug our lucky jerseys a little tighter. We're bringing in fan groups from all over the place, from Germany, France, Brazil, the UK, Canada, Japan. Everybody gets to share their 2 cents on America's favorite team.
Here we go!
America's team, Mexico's team, world's team, my Dallas Cowboys!
And now your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
And yes, we are back. It is the world's team. And yes, we have ourselves a very special guest today. But before further ado, I am joined by my co-host here, the Welsh Dragon himself. You can find him on bloggingtheboys.com. It is Mr. Mike Poland. How are we doing, sir?
Yes, all good. It's Friday, mate. How is our very own Scottish Claymore doing?
Not too bad. Bear in mind, it is Friday. We are recording this, and obviously when this will get released, it will be Saturday, so it'll be Saturday morning to everyone, so good morning, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing very well. But like I said, this is a really awesome episode I'm really excited for. Like, words cannot describe how happy I am to have this special guest on our show right now. And I'm not going to waste any more time, but I want to bring him on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eduardo Flores. How we doing? You doing good?
Hey, love it. Love the intro. Love how you pronounce my name. Love to be here with you guys. Everything is awesome. So happy to be here in this amazing show with you.
I know, honestly, just kind of like looking back of like what with the draft and stuff like that, like I was so happy to see you being there on the stage representing Mexico, and obviously you're representing the world's team, just like Cowboys Nation all across the world. Like, and I think it's from me and Mike's perspective, I think it's very safe to say you did the Cowboys an amazing justice. You did a fantastic job announcing Nathan Thomas's draft pick. So, and yeah, but we will talk about the draft as we go into this show. But I like to start to really get to know you from the ground up. So tell me, Eduardo, how did you become a Cowboys fan?
Well, basically my story is like most of the stories, right? I became a Cowboys fan because of my father. He was a really diehard Cowboys fan. In my eyes, he was the biggest Cowboys fan ever. So since I have memory, I grew up watching him rooting for the Cowboys, having that type of passion as the passion that I have now for the Cowboys. Like, his life was the Dallas Cowboys. Sundays were only designated for the Dallas Cowboys, right? So basically, in my house, there was no other team than the Dallas Cowboys. And I grew up with watching my father enjoying watching the Cowboys, suffering watching the Cowboys, and well, here I am.
Because and correct me if I'm wrong, but like California and especially at most parts of Mexico, it's Cowboys crazy over there. It really is. Like, yes. So what's the culture like back in Mexico? Is like, do you have like a fan groups and stuff like that? Do you have meetups with friends to watch the games?
Right now, I am trying to do something like to gather around with a lot of Cowboys fans, specifically where I am living in. But it's a little bit complicated because of times. Then I also do my shows and my podcasts. And sometimes when you are in a restaurant or with other people, you can be as hype as you are in your house, right?
So you do podcasts as well. Oh, please, tell us more about it. We would love to hear more about it.
Oh yeah.
Promote.
Yeah, honestly, promote yourself. Honestly, feel free.
To be honest, it's really awesome about my podcast. Actually, it's a small episodes, about 6 7 minutes. I do these episodes after the game, like trying to do the analysis of what happened, what we saw, something to speculate for next week, and are small episodes from 6 7 minutes that I upload to Spotify. And actually, I have a really good response. Obviously, it's in Spanish because the content that I made is in Spanish. I'm trying to start doing content in English. But it is really interesting because when I look for my statistics in Spotify, I notice that I have plenty of countries that are actually listening to me. I know Mexicans are all over the world, so maybe it's a Mexican that it is hidden in China or anywhere in the country and is listening to that podcast, and it's really awesome.
It's funny to mention that. So me and Mike, we also do the UK Cowboys fans podcast as well. And Mike, tell me, where's been the most random country you've actually listened to our show?
Yeah, it's Vietnam.
We've had Vietnam.
Wow.
Listen to our show. Like I was like, and just the idea of that just really blows your mind. Like the spread of football just goes all across the country. And just in case you're wondering why Mike just disappeared there, his flag just kind of went down in the background there. So he's just referenced his flag. But it really is truly is the world's team when you do really think about it. Because like yourself, like I've met fans from Mexico, I've met fans from France and Germany. We've got a lot of friends from the German Cowboys fans group, Big D Deutschland and Cowboys Nation Germany. Really good friends over there. Been on their show a couple of once, and we've got some friends over in France, and you've heard of the Cowboys Can Fans show. We're really good friends with them as well. So it's just a big collaboration of fans all over the world just supporting this one team, and it's the reason why they are probably one of the, they are the richest franchise in all of sports. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're totally right.
But yeah, so you grew up with your father, becoming a Cowboys fan, crazy diehard Cowboys fan. So tell me, what was your first ever game experience as a Cowboys fan? Like, what was the first game you attended?
The first game that I attended, I believe it was in 2007. It was that game was played in Texas Stadium, the old Cowboys Stadium.
Oh, you got to
game.
I'm so jealous. Like, if that's one thing I wish I did, it is going to Texas Stadium before it came down. Unfortunately, I never managed to afford to make the trip before then, but I'm incredibly jealous. Mike, I think you've been to Texas. You've been to Texas Stadium, haven't you?
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm jealous. So.
Something historical, beautiful, but yeah, the game was not that beautiful. What I remember, it was basically the final game of the season, the regular season, and at that time the Cowboys needed the other team to lose in order they win that game and they could clinch their playoff ticket. And I believe the team was playing at noon. They lost. And the Cowboys game was at 3:25 p.m. And well, as soon as they know the other team didn't lose, it was like, well, we need to play our backups. To be honest, it wasn't that interesting, but the only to just see the stadium, to be there, to experience, to see the players live, it was something that I will remember and cherish for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember my first time at AT&T Stadium, which was against the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. We lost that game, mind you. And then I went to the game the week after, which was the Thanksgiving game against back then it was the San Diego Chargers, not the Los Angeles Chargers. And that was the game where, the GOAT, Mike, help me. Jeff Heath did the field goal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was at that game, and I'm amongst that game, and you'll probably be familiar. Superfan Jamie Balls Mahoney, Wrecking Ball. I was among those guys, so we were watching the game there, and yeah, that was a weird one. But the Eagles game, my God, I never felt so much hostility in my life. Like and you know yourself, like Mexico is very proud of its soccer heritage as well. Like, but there was a whole difference of like mentality. Like I've been to a Celtic versus Rangers game, which is very animosity here in Scotland, but I've never experienced anything like that in AT&T Stadium when it was like Eagles fans just coming right up to my face. I was just like, whoa, hold on. No. But now I understand why they got the bad reputation. Now I understand. But But yeah, so Mike, what was your first game experience, Mike?
Well, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It was against the Saints. Yes, it was against the Saints. And I bought a program. The best thing I remember of the day is I bought, and I've got it stashed away. And I can't remember. I spoke to somebody. I was very, very drunk. I mean, you've seen us in our drunk form, mate. So you know what that's like. And somehow I managed to get down to speak to a couple of people, and then they managed to get Jason Witten. My program disappeared, and it came back, and Jason Witten had signed it, and I was like, "Wow!"
Oh, you lucky man!
And it was still there.
Oh yeah,
I've still got it.
Yeah, like so that was your first game experience. So now, kind of moving forwards, we're going to move up to just obviously last Thanksgiving. Just there, this is where I do remember meeting you, but I don't remember if that makes sense, because I do remember meeting you at the tailgate. But we met at the Thanksgiving game last year, and I do apologize of my silly antics, because I wasn't probably the best impression, or you probably think I was some crazy person wearing a Scottish kilt, but it was like, but that game was memorable. DeLone brand, setting the record. Like, so how was the experience for you in that game? Because from the only thing I remember was that and Dolly Parton. That's the only thing I remember.
And the Cowboy Ritas.
And the Cowboy Ritas. Oh my God, I'm never touching them ever again. I swear to God.
I have heard a lot of that Cowboy Ritas. I haven't tried anyone yet.
I recommend
it's
it.
strong.
It's good. It's really good.
Me and Paul had like two, and by the end of it, we were literally carrying each other out, arms over each other, like, just carry me home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, guys. I remember that well. But yeah, to be honest, Thanksgiving is a special day for me. Here in Mexico, it's not that common for people to celebrate it. But my dad really celebrated Thanksgiving because of the Cowboys. But he had like a mentality that when my brother and me grew up, they know that for Christmas and New Year's, well, now when you're an adult, you have other compromises, right? And you won't be able to be with your core family always. So my father always told us like, okay, so I will respect Christmas and New Year's when you are older, but Thanksgiving is for the four of us, for your mom, your brother, me, and you. So Thanksgiving for me, it's really special. I mean, watching the Cowboys play every year is also very special. And I have a lot of beautiful memories with my dad and Thanksgiving. So that's why Thanksgiving is really important to me. And 2 years ago, I started to go to every Thanksgiving game. And that's one of my goals from now on, that every Thanksgiving game, I need to be at AT&T Stadium watching the Cowboys play to represent my dad, to have him in my memory, obviously in my heart. So yeah, Thanksgiving it's a really special day for me. And to have met you guys there a year ago make it double special.
Well, I got a question for you. What is your dad's name, first of all?
Yeah, my dad's name is Luis Antonio. I always call him Luis.
Luis. So we'll give a big shout out to Luis.
Yeah,
the original Cowboy. There you go. Big shout out, bro.
The big OG.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So last year it was really special. I enjoyed the tailgate. We know that America's team tailgate from Julio Marin and everyone from BFA. Yeah, it's
good
awesome.
Guys.
They are awesome. They are awesome. What they are doing, not just for the Cowboys and football, because also what they are doing to the society. And to have met you there, to share a couple of words, share a couple of beers. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I really enjoyed. And I don't know if you remember, but at the end of the game, the score was already like 40-3, 40-14.
Oh yeah.
And in the final 2 minutes, you were like chanting chants of soccer that you do back in your country.
No, yeah.
And Julio and me
Oh
were
dear!
like,
Oh no!
like
Oh,
two
no.
sections from where you were, guys, and we're like, damn, they are having a lot of fun, and we stood up,
Oh
and we
no!
went with you, and we start screaming and jumping with you guys.
I kid you not. We turned section 428 into a party zone.
Oh yeah,
I kid you not. Like we had people in the back singing along with us and all sorts. Like when we come over to a Cowboys game, we are loud.
oh yeah. Glad that
Gotta
you are
be.
doing that, because AT&T Stadium is not that as loud as a home crowd should be. To be
I
honest,
agree.
I am really not mad, but I am really like, well, if you are playing at home, you have to do something to have that home field advantage.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Kansas
Exactly.
City, Chelsea.
It's a very weird atmosphere. It's an odd
yeah.
atmosphere because you think
I know.
it should be more electrifying with this many
Right.
people here.
I know, especially with the amount of money that you spend for tickets. Like you would think, it's like if I'm buying my ticket for X amount of money, I want to make sure I'm going there and I'm going to be loud. I want to make this the best atmosphere as possible. There is,
Right.
like, and this is no doubt to a lot of the Cowboys fans out there, but with some people who just like to just sit there and watch and just observe rather than being an actual fan and really get into it and really cheer for the team. And we've got a few of our friends like J Tuck, who runs CFM Sports.
Yeah.
He's very outspoken about that. And he's right, because he's like where he sits, like you would think everyone who sits there should be really cranking the noise up, especially in a high stakes game. Like I can imagine like the game like versus Detroit last year, people would have been a bit more up in ours. But he was saying there was a lot of people there that were just kind of just watching and being on their phones. And like,
That's it. Yeah. Like as if it's just like Sunday is just like, it's just this is the place where we go. We go here to hang out on a Sunday afternoon. And you're like, what?
I
mean, I can understand that. I can understand that if there was like a baseball game, because you can get a baseball game for like $40. But
you're there for a long time.
And there for a long time. And there's more baseball games, but because there's only 9 home game or 9 or 8, depending if you've got the extra game home field advantage a year, that you want to take full advantage of that. So I think, especially with this upcoming year, I think that's something we really need to really do is really get behind the team. I know we've had our struggles, etc., but that's something I think going forward, us fans really need to really step up to the plate and really cheer on our team, whether it's good or bad, you know.
And what you are doing, Talk is doing, what I want to do is, like to try to change that identity that we have at AT&T Stadium. And then I know we can. I know that for many people, it's like you said, no, or like every Sunday we're here, every year we are here. But well, if you're here, make it count, make it be part of the team, help the team.
Yeah,
I mean, I will say this, right? Because I've just written an article about AT&T Stadium, ironically. And here's a crazy thing, right? We're talking about this. So in the last 15 years, come back and check, the last 15 years, AT&T Stadium has the highest average attendance in the NFL, right?
Wow.
But what even crazier is last season, the Cowboys they won all 8 games at home in the regular season. It was the highest team home rating. So like we're complaining about the atmos. Well, something's going on because they're winning. And in the NFC, in the last 5 years, the Cowboys are second in highest home rate win rate at home.
That's crazy. But, well, before we do move on talking about the subject I really want to talk about, the NFL draft, I want to give our sponsor our airtime. So without further ado, here is our sponsor of our show, Cowboys Experience.
The World's Team Podcast is brought to you by Cowboys Experience, the ultimate Cowboys experience with stadium tours, meet and greets, tailgating, game tickets, and much more. For more information, please go to www.cowboysexperience.com.
Yes, so be sure to go to cowboysexperience.com. Be sure to contact Barry for his upcoming packages for the 2024 season and tell him that the World's Team sent you your way, and you will make sure that you will get treated with absolute royalty. But yes, the subject I've been dying to talk to you about, Eduardo, the NFL draft, right? So obviously, like the NFL International Fan of the Year, like I put my name in the hat there, same as you. And when I saw your name got a bit selected, I was like, oh man, could not happen to such an awesome guy. So I'm again, massive congratulations, bro.
Thank you,
I'm
brother.
really happy for you. But so tell me, how was the experience? Because obviously the first thing we saw is you got to talk to Amber Garcia. And so tell us, what was the whole process of the NFL International Fan of the Year, then going to the draft?
Right. To be honest, it was a very long process. I remember that we started with, as you said, to filling the questionnaire, to putting our names back in October. I mean, we met in November and we were talking about that international possibility of Fan of the Year, and we talked that we both submit our application and stuff like that. And we know that in USA they have the Fan of the Year contest. That for all 32 teams, they select a winner and they take them to the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl gala, they select one winner. This year was Tom Grossi from the Packers. And yeah, so basically when the Super Bowl happened, when that event happened, it was like, well, maybe the NFL, after all, they didn't want to do the International Fan of the Year contest because we didn't hear anything. It was almost 6 months from the beginning of that. And yeah, as soon as a Super Bowl ended, it was like, well, at least I tried. It didn't happen. Well, let's move on, right? And it was, I want to believe it was like a message from my father, because my father passed away on Valentine's Day on February 14. And on February 15, a day after the anniversary of my dad when he passed away 6 years ago, I was still a little bit sad, a little bit with I didn't want to do anything on that day. And suddenly an email got to my phone and I saw Dallas Cowboys. And to be honest, at that time, I was a little bit mad because of how they lost on playoffs. And I was like, I don't want to do anything with the Cowboys right now. And I started like making memory. And I was like, well, I haven't subscribed to anything yet. I don't have my account linked to that email, a link to anything from the Cowboys. And I was like trying to work and thinking about it. And then I was like, something is happening here. And then I grabbed my phone. I noticed the email, and it was only saying me that I was one of the finalists. They didn't tell me how many finalists they were selected at that point, or what was like the dates on how everything will be going on. They just say, congratulations, you are one of our finalists. Now we need you to record the video answering these questions. At that moment, I left my work. I put away my laptop from the work and I put my jersey on and I start recording that video. When I noticed the email, I start jumping all around my house. I was so excited to hear that news. And yeah, I sent that video that day. And to be honest, it passed a week before hearing again from the Cowboys. But that week felt a lot longer than from October to February.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Because from October to February, I wasn't expecting anything. It was like, well, if it is, it is. And it will be awesome. But from that week, from the first email to the next response, it was really long. And I was like checking my email every minute. I was going through junk email to other emails. And yeah, it was a little bit tough to wait that whole week. And yeah, after that week is when I got a message, another email saying that they want me to do like the next process of the International Fan of the Year. It was an interview. They didn't break out the news for me yet, but they wanted me to do a Zoom with the team. And well, that Zoom was the video that you saw from Amber Garcia and Jalen Brooks saying that I was selected as International Fan of the Year.
That is crazy. That I can just imagine your reaction, like, oh, no way, like, because like it's like it's those nice wee surprises, and Amber is such a lovely lady. She does so much work for the Cowboys. We've had the pleasure of having her on the UK Cowboys fans podcast several times, and and she's amazing. And Jalen Brooks giving you the message there, like, so after you got the message, now what was your reaction after? Who was the first person you told? Like, did you contact the rest of your family? Like, what was it like?
Yeah, to be honest, on that weekend, the Zoom I had it on a Monday, and the email I received it on Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, I was like only thinking about it, like, are they going to interview me? What will be like the next steps? And on that Monday morning, I was like, let me check Twitter, let me check what all the other teams are doing. If the Cowboys already select someone, and I started noticing that on the past days, all the teams were like already selecting their
Hmm.
international fans of the year. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It could be happening today. Today is the day. They are going to, I mean, the Cowboys want a schedule a Zoom meeting with me to tell me, well, thank you for participating. See you next year, right? So I was like, this could be this could be the day. This could be the day where the Cowboys
Yeah, yeah.
will,
Yeah.
will announce me as a winner. And to be honest, I was recording with another phone, a little bit hidden from the camera. And yeah, on the video that you saw, I was like, yeah, I cried a little bit. I was like in disbelief and everything. But as soon as I hung up with Amber, I start screaming in the other camera, and I was like, "Oh my International Fan of the Year, baby, let's go!" And I start crying and I start jumping and yelling and saying thank you to my dad and everything. Yeah, it was a really cool moment. And yeah, as soon as I finished that call, the very first person I think that I called first was my girlfriend, because she has been very supporting with me.
Who we've also met.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you also met
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
You also
Yeah,
met
yeah.
her last year. So yeah,
Brilliant lady.
oh yeah, she is unbelievable, awesome. She loves me a lot. I also love her, and yeah, she has been very supportive. And yeah, I think she was the very first person that I called, because I wanted to tell her like everything. She was the one like, breathe, relax, take advantage of the moment. Don't do anything stupid on that. But yeah, it was really awesome to share that moment with her. And yeah, and as soon as I hung up with her, I called my mom, I called my brother, and yeah, try to share that with the people that I love the most, that are my family. And at that moment, I wasn't supposed to say anything, because the Cowboys were
Yep.
making the video in order to make it official. So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
as I knew, the only people that I told them was my girlfriend, my mom, and my brother.
That's awesome. So after the video came out, so obviously, what was the reaction from your like other friends when the official news broke out? So did you get like tons of messages coming in, etc.? Because I remember Big Wheel, our good friend Big Wheel, sending messages like, "Oh, congratulations, brother, well deserved," and rightly
Mm.
so. Like you've been an
Mm.
awesome representative for Cowboys Nation. But
Thank you,
what was
bro.
it like? Did the inbox just completely start flooding in?
Oh yeah, well, my friends know how I love the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How if they want to make plans on Sunday, it was like, brother, you have other 6 days of the week when you want to hang out. Don't touch Sundays. Don't touch when the Cowboys are playing. So yeah, all of my friends know how passionate and how I feel for the Cowboys. So yeah, as soon as they announced me as the winner, they were like really happy, and they were like, man, you deserve it. We don't know anybody that passionate and that crazy for the Cowboys than you. So well deserved, and enjoy your moment. And yeah, also really cool to hear that words from my closest friends.
That's awesome. So, in
Nice.
terms of the process getting to the draft, then, so did the NFL like they covered all the expenses, the hotel, the flights? Is that how it all worked? Is that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's
Oh yeah,
amazing?
they were unbelievable, amazing. Not just for me, but also for my plus one, that in this case was my girlfriend. They
Yeah, yeah.
cover all the expenses except for food, and obviously what you get on the draft, right?
Mm.
But yeah, just on flights and booking on the hotel, because the hotel was right in the corner of the event. So you can
Mm.
imagine how were the
I can
prices.
imagine,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially with hotels, if they know an event's on, they'll just
Oh yeah.
check up the price. And
Mm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, but
Stick an
even
extra zero on the end.
absolutely, but what I thought was that was the one of the coolest parts as well. And I think this was just before the draft. You got to meet Roger Goodell as well.
Yeah, it
Mm.
was exactly one day before the draft. It was on Wednesday. And yeah, it was like a private event for all the international fans of the year and some other guests. And yeah, it was basically a session of questions and answers. We started
Nice.
doing a couple of questions. To be honest, I was like prepared like 3 or 4 questions, and as soon as they start giving the mic, my 4 questions went like this. They already asked the questions I was going to ask. So at that moment, I was like, I need to ask something to Roger Goodell. I need to make my presence known in front of Mr. Goodell. And yeah, I remember about that flag football will become an Olympic sport in 2027. And I asked on the position of the league in allowing their players to represent their country. And it was a really cool question. Everybody in the
That's
room
a
was
really
like,
good question. Really,
Yeah,
because we like
yeah,
because like so like especially if you're coming from college football to play the professionals and stuff like that. Like if there's one thing like a lot of athletes would love to dream to have would be having like an Olympic gold medal.
yeah, it's
And
basically
that,
the dream of every athlete. So,
yeah,
and the answer was like they are exploring their options, but they are really into letting their players to play in the Olympics in 2027, 28. I believe it's in Los
Yeah,
Angeles
yeah.
actually.
yeah, because the NFL are doing a lot of work here in the UK. We've got the NFL Academy right now. Where we've just seen it in this year's draft. We've had a couple of guys from England and Ireland, and also there was the guy from Wales, Reece Samet, just got signed to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think this was probably the first year the highest. Not actually, no, I'm wrong. Actually, Jack Crawford was actually the highest British draft pick.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, but I think there was a guy that got drafted to the Buffalo Bills this year. Charlie Smith, the kicker, went to the New Orleans Saints, and several other players from other parts of the UK and Australia got picked up this year. So internationally, it's been really great success from the NFL perspective. So,
Oh yeah.
but to the NFL draft though, like, did you know that you were going to be announcing the pick or anything like that, or was that more of an even bigger surprise?
No, I was already informed that on day 3 I was going to make a big announcement, and you can hear my voice now, and you can hear my voice on the
I was
video.
going to say that, like, it's in a little bit husky there.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. To be honest, before even arriving to Detroit, I already knew that on day 3 I was going to make a big announcement.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
on the very first day, on Thursday, uh, they put me in the inner circle on the very first row, and yeah, it was my very first draft experience for me to live it live in the city. And as soon as the camera was passing through Cowboys fans, I was like screaming if I was attending to a Cowboys game. And basically every time that I at AT&T Stadium the very next day, I woke up with no voice. So on Thursday, when the camera was pointing to us, I was like, "How about them Cowboys? Go Cowboys! Draft day, baby! Cowboys #1." And on Friday, as soon as I woke up, and I am like, "Hello, baby," and I was like, "No way!" I was like, "No way! You lost your voice on day 1 of the draft, and you have to announce a pick worldwide on the next day." So on Friday, I was like, I enjoy a lot Friday night and the whole event on Friday. But as soon as on the second day when the camera was going through Cowboys fan, I was like screaming in mute. I was like only moving my mouth without saying
Yeah.
anything. And I was like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was really funny to do that. And the cameramen were also the ones that were day before, and they were like, "Why are you not screaming today? Yesterday you were very loud, and today you are not saying a word." And I was like, "I don't have a voice, and tomorrow I have to make a pick, so I'm trying to save my voice." And it was really funny.
It's funny they mentioned that because I'm pretty sure our good friend Super Cowboy made a comment on that because I was talking to him. Oh God, when was I talking to him? It wasn't probably long after the draft. Him and Angie were there. I'm sure there was a lot of. I think that's when I saw you, Super Cowboy, and Angie on television. I was like, ah,
There they are.
there they are.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that is unreal. But yeah, it's like now up to the moment, you got to announce Nathan Thomas of like the offensive lineman in the draft, and I do have the picture from when you made the announcement here, right here on stage. Like honestly, like you just look so proud to be there representing the Dallas Cowboys, and I just love the fact you were just embracing all the boos from the other teams, and that I was like, yep. That is a true sign. Just taking in all angles of 31 of our team's hatred and just like, come on, bring it on, bring it on.
Oh
I
yeah.
loved it, loved it. But
Oh
but
yeah.
what, but were you nervous at all when you were like going up on stage?
To be honest, I wasn't nervous at all. I had like a script what I was going to say, but for example, the phrase that made everything viral about Dak Prescott, I wasn't even planning to mention it. But that day before the draft, the Cowboys actually made an interview with me, and they asked me about Dak Prescott and why I admire Dak Prescott, and I mentioned that Dak Prescott take advantage of his platform and all the attention that he's having and try to do with that attention something positive. So at that moment when I was on the draft, I was like getting through all the picks, and when my pick was getting closer, I was like trying to memorize what I was going to say, I was going to do. And I remember that part of the interview, and I was like, well, I am here in front of thousands of people on day three of the draft, and also this will be live on TV. And I was like, well, if I said about Doug Prescott that how he take advantage of the media, of his platform, and the attention that he's having, I might do it as well. So that part of Doug Prescott message, it was unscripted. It was really, I felt it on that moment from the bottom of my heart, and I mentioned it. But yeah, I wasn't planning to do something like to trying to get more boost from the Lions fans. But to be honest, it was a rough week because I know they are still hurt about last year's game, and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like
Um,
yeah, I mean, kind of going back to what you were mentioning about that press, I think it was safe to say even Lions fans and all the opposing fans, they couldn't like there was like, no, we can't boo at that. Like
oh
that's
yeah,
actually like raising awareness for mental health and stuff like that. Like what you did and the way you conducted yourself, like you said it in such a nice professional manner, and
okay.
everyone's and the fact that Dak Prescott's brother tagged him in the on Twitter as well to grab his attention, and
mhm.
that made comment on it, and he was so appreciative on it. But yeah, it was the bit after which to me like even got me more happy. Like obviously
Thank
when we talked about we've got it in our intro, is you really wanted to do like the whole Drew Pearson moment to really get everyone under everyone's skin. I was like, yes.
you. Yeah.
So because you said it's like America's team, Mexico's team, the world's team. I was like, ah,
There it is. There
It
it
there
is what
it
it
is.
is.
is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
No, but you like what was it like you could hear the boos were starting getting louder and louder as you were saying that.
Oh
That
yeah.
that must have been some experience.
Oh yeah. It was really awesome. To be honest, the people in Detroit were really kind. Were really welcoming us to their city. It was really awesome event. The people were amazing. I actually have a video from second day from the draft where I'm arriving to the stage, and I am not recording myself. I am only recording the crowd. But as soon as I was entering to the draft, I was like saying hi and throwing kisses to them. And as soon as they saw that I was a Cowboys fan, they started like, "Boo, get out of here" and stuff like that. And then they one person from the crowd asked me to come. And as soon as I was going to through this person, a police officer from the event grabbed me from behind and put some handcuffs on me, and they were like, yeah, get rid from that Cowboy fan and stuff like that. And it was really funny because you felt like that rivalry, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like just playing it. They weren't mean at all like Philly fans would have been.
Oh yeah,
uh,
that would have been completely different.
oh yeah, yeah,
So
completely
the
different.
police was like in the joke type
Oh
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. He
All right,
was
right,
he was
buddy.
joking.
Nah.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
My girlfriend actually was a little bit scared, so she like
I can imagine.
yeah.
Just trying to move away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she moved away, and yeah, but the police officer, I turned around and recorded the officer, and he was like, putting his tongue out and joking about it. So yeah, it was really awesome. So yeah, I knew that as soon as I put a feet on that stage, they were going to boo me because I
Yep.
was a Cowboys fan. So what I did first, like trying to, okay, boo me, throw
Yeah,
me
yeah,
everything
yeah.
that you have at this moment because I won't let you boo me again from what I'm going to say. So give me all that you have at this moment. And yeah, before I start talking, I was like 5 seconds of only, yeah, come on, boo me. You know that you love me. You know that you love the Cowboys. So throw it out, throw it out. And yeah, as soon as I start talking and as soon as I start saying America's team, Mexico's team, world's team, yeah, I noticed that the boos were coming a little bit louder. So I was screaming with the little voice that I have already at that moment. I was like trying to give everything. And yeah, it resulted. It was something really, really awesome. Obviously, a core memory and yeah, something that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. If that's one like, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, you were mentioning earlier, like NFL fan and what based in America, they get to go to the Super Bowl. But to me personally, I would rather go to the draft because
Yeah.
like you're guaranteed there's going to be Cowboys interaction because with the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, it's going to be two teams really. Like, because I'd rather have the more group experience, be among with all the other fans, and actually like be part of something like it's going to be something brand new and adventurous. But don't get me wrong, I would love to go to the Super Bowl when the
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys do it. Like when we do eventually get there, don't get me wrong, I'll probably have to sell my house to do that. But with the draft, I think that's a complete different, unique experience, and I'm just honestly, I'm not gonna say I'm jealous, but I'm just like it's something I would love to do as well. Like the idea of get to represent your team and then announce a draft pick. That would be an absolute dream for me, like just to do that. But going back to after the draft, Dak Prescott reached out and made contact with you, and obviously he invited you to his event, the Fight, Faith, and what was that
Faith,
again?
fight, finish.
That's
Faith,
right.
Yeah,
Faith,
yeah.
Fight, and Finish. Yep. So
Which
so
is
how
the
did that?
wristband.
Yep, that's the wristband. Yep, and we saw him, and we actually saw, and we saw him. He's actually on OTAs right now, and he's still wearing it right
Oh
now.
yeah.
So big shout out to Dak Prescott. But tell us, how did the interaction with Dak started, and how was the event, and who else did you meet at the event?
Right. To be honest, my first interaction with Dak was until last Friday when we met at the Faith Fight Finish Foundation Gala. And to be honest, it was really more special because our very first interaction was in person. But I knew that he already know me and that he know about what I did because of his brother. Actually, that Prescott was the one who reached out first to me, who shared the video. Also, I believe the very first person to make it viral was Patrick Walker, the insider from the Cowboys.
Actually,
Yeah.
big shout out to Patrick. He's a
Oh
really
yeah,
good guy, great
he's
guy.
an amazing guy. And basically, as soon as I said that on a stage and they put it on air, he was the very first one to tweet it because of the mental health awareness. And yeah, a couple of days later, the Cowboys had their derby, their home run derby for charity and stuff like that. And on that event, Patrick Walker actually asked Dak Prescott about me and about how he felt about what I did. And yeah, at that moment, Dak Prescott told the media that actually his brother, that was the one who sent the video to him. And he was like, we need to reach out to Eduardo and invite him to our foundation. So basically, all that talking and all that trying to make the arrangements was with that an amazing guy. Also, all Prescott family are very very awesome people, very kind, um, very lovely, they really listen to you, they really care for you. So yeah, that was amazing. He was the one who made everything possible. And yeah, obviously on Fate Fight Finish Foundation Gala last Friday, I met my hero, my role model, my favorite player, Dak Prescott, and it was
Yeah, because we've actually
something
got
unbelievable.
we've actually got the photo as well of you meeting Dak there as well. I mean, it's a great photograph. Like you can tell, you look so proud to be there, and just you just have that glow. You just look so excited just to like be there. But yeah, so about the actual event itself, like who else did you meet? Did you get to meet Charlotte Jones? Because I know she was doing a little bit of the DJing at the
Yeah.
at there, because our friend as the DJ, DJ Blackbeard,
Exactly. Yeah.
he helped write the song "Here We Go."
Mm.
Like he did the music for that. So but he was telling us about it. Yeah, it was a really good good show, pretty much. So, but tell us, like, was there any of our players we know, CD and Zeke were there? Did you get to meet them by any chance?
Yeah, it was an amazing event. To be honest, um, I was trying to behave like not to be a fanboy on that day, but yeah,
It would be very difficult not to.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was like already at the event, and as soon as I saw all the players arriving to the event, I was like, oh my god, I want to run through them and to hug them and to talk to them and to ask for their autograph. But no, I really behaved good. Uh, but yeah, I got to meet a lot of people. Sick, it was awesome to meet him. Sick and Jake Ferguson
Mm.
were two players that recognized me. Like, oh my God,
Nice.
you were the guy
Oh, they
from
recognize you. Holy
yeah.
crap.
So
That's really
Crazy.
cool. That's really
I
cool.
felt like a superstar at that moment.
Oh, wow.
To have
Yeah.
Ferguson and Zeke recognize me, it was like, man, I'm living the dream. I can't believe that I'm here right now and that the players from my favorite team they're actually
They
recognizing me.
say to you like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they were like, "Oh my God, you were the guy from draft from the jersey with the 24," and I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And they were like, "Oh, that's awesome." So yeah, those two were the ones who recognized me. But obviously, I share a few words from with Zeke Ferguson. I got to meet CD Lamb also. Zach Martin. I already had a photo with Zach Martin, but on that event, I got to talk a little bit with him. An amazing guy.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Zach's a great guy. I got to meet him at our sponsors event. Like Zach Martin goes to the Cowboys Experience meet and greets
Yeah.
quite often, and he's just a great gentleman.
oh
Like
yeah,
great professional, great
right.
person. Does a lot of work, and also does a lot of work with Travis Frederick with his
Mhm.
charities and that stuff like that as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, and like Zeke, I got to meet Zeke back in 2018, and I don't know
Yeah.
if you know this. And I'm not trying to self promote myself, but the Cowboys did a documentary on myself back in 2018, and it's on YouTube. If you just type in Dallas
Oh.
Cowboys Scotland, it's the first thing that pops up. But when I got to meet Zeke, I was like, "All right, mate, how you doing?" Like just in my native tongue, like just like like,
Yeah.
and he's looking at me like, "What?" Like, and it's like, and I'm just like, I'm all the way from Scotland. It's like, huh? but I
Yeah, cool.
but but Zach Martin's fantastic. Zeke's a great guy as well. Um but yeah, so was it like an all night thing the event as well? Like what time like was it just that were you just there for the one night? Did you get to explore Dallas at all while you were over there as well?
Yeah, before I start saying all of this, I also want to mention that I got to meet Jalen Brooks, who was the guy
Oh,
who broke
nice.
out the news for me that I was going to be selected as International Fan of the Year. So to complete that moment, to finally meet him
Uh,
in person, it was
full
really awesome. He's
circle.
also
Mm.
yeah, full circle moment, and he's also a very kind guy, very lovely. He was like at the event I crossed paths with him a couple of times, and he was like, "Are you doing good? Are you enjoying your night?" And I was like, "Yeah, brother, everything is amazing." And also after the event, he helped me with some stuff that I was trying to do. So yeah, very lovely guy, very kind, very awesome guy, and yeah, to have met him at that event and to finally say, hey, we finally meet here. You broke out the news for me, and now I have to say thank you in front of you. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
really
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
to share that moment.
That is absolutely brilliant, dude. Honestly, I could not be happier for you, man. But
Thank you, brother.
but Eduardo, but tell us, what is your plans for this year?
My plans for this year, well, actually, I'm still booking everything for all my Cowboys trips.
Same.
Uh,
That's
I
fair.
am still
That's fair.
waiting. In the place where I work, they have like some funds that they give you at certain time of the year, and I am like literally asking for them to already make give me that money so I can start booking everything. But yeah, I think by next Friday I would know exactly which games I will be attending to. My plans for this year will start in August. I am planning to go to with all the PFUFA members to their annual gathering that they have on Hall of Fame weekend. PFVFA is a great group of guys where Julio, Lloyd, and Nicole, everyone from America's Team Tailgaters belong to.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
obviously, there are a lot of members from other teams. And what they are doing, they obviously are super fans. They root for their team. But also, what distinguish PFVFA members are that they do charity levels, charity tasks. And to be part of that is something that I am also aiming in a future. So they invited me this year, and I'm like, I'm more than happy to go to help you guys there to meet all new members from the other teams. So yeah, basically I'm going to start in August. I want to go to Canton, Ohio, with all the PVFA members to help in that event.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, and they are really
Yeah.
doing. It's more than football. Is
It
what
really
I.
is. It really is. Like, and that's the one thing that me and Mike took away from London 2014. It's like, even though the Cowboys beat Jacksonville and Tony Romo threw it to Dez twice in that game,
Yeah.
it was fantastic. But the memories that I created and the friendships I
Oh yeah.
created meant like that over exceeded everything. Like ever since 2014, I still remain friends to everyone I've met since that day. Like I
True.
met Shannon Gross from Hanging with the Boys. He's one of my good friends. I consider him like a brother to me right now.
Yeah.
My friends from
David
Houston,
Hellman.
David Hellman, who's now works for Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my friends from Houston, who are literally like my second family now. I make sure every time I come over to Texas, I spend a little bit of time in Houston and make sure I hang a bit with them. And we are all traveling together for the Houston and Dallas game. That's the game we're going to, because we can't miss the Texas show.
Oh yeah.
Can't miss
It
that.
will be awesome. I was about 2 years, 1 year ago when they play in December.
That's
It was
right.
a close game, but it was a
Yeah.
good game because it was a Texas showdown. And as soon as I noticed that you put on my Twitter that you were going to that game, I was like, I want to go to that game also. So yeah, right now the only game that I have booked by right now, it's the Pittsburgh game. I will be attending to an away game. It will be my very first away game since 2015. And at that time, my father was the one who bought the tickets, right? So this will be my very first away game that I bought the tickets from myself. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. And yeah, what I'm planning to do for home games, for home games, I'm still obviously Thanksgiving. I will be there.
Yep.
And what I want to do, my very first Philly game at AT&T Stadium, obviously.
Nice.
And what I want to do is to stay the whole week and be at Monday Night Football with the Texas Showdown to also that game, and obviously hang out with you guys.
Absolutely. We're planning the big. So obviously, last year the UK Cowboys fans, we did the whole massive group thing, and we're doing that again next year. So, getting the whole fan group together. So I think we don't have an official number of people signed up yet, but we've got the same amount of people at least from last year, and probably at least another 5 or 6 at the moment. But it's only going to grow.
Way more. It's way
is
more.
Is it way more? Oh, there you go.
Wow, that's amazing, guys.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big takeover again for next year's Thanksgiving game. But yeah, but speaking about like the Cowboys, and we're talking about the games now. Now we can actually get to the fun stuff. So, what is your season predictions for this year?
Oof, wow, that's a good one. To be honest, right now, with everything that happened last season and how the approach of the team was in the free agency, I am feeling like how I felt back in 2018, 19, after Amari Cooper's trade, when the Cowboys traded Amari Cooper. On that season, I had my expectations very low, to be honest. And right now, I am feeling not that motivated as last season. But to be honest, I'm trying to stay positive. I know all the talent that we have on the team. I want to believe in Mike Zimmer defense. I want to believe that on year 2 of Mike McCarthy's offense, they will have a better performance. And last year, the Cowboys offense was really good, and the defense were the ones who were struggling a little bit. So yeah, to be honest, I am not as with high expectations because how the free agency went and how we ended last
Exactly.
season.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I know that the Cowboys are still a very good team, that they are very competitive, that they have guys that know that they could be playing their last game wearing the star. So yeah, I'm really excited about the season. I'm really excited to having Zeke back, to having the belief that he will be running behind Cooper Beebe.
Yeah, I tell you what, Cooper Beebe, I love
Oh
that
yeah,
pick.
yeah.
Like
He
we were excited when that got announced. We
oh
were
yeah.
like, oh, that's
I was
gonna
also
be
excited.
like you got Tyler Guyton on the left,
Oh
then
yeah.
you got Cooper Beebe in the middle, and also you got Tyler Smith on the left guard, then Zach Martin, and obviously Terrence Steele.
Yeah,
Like this is changing the identity of the run game. But
absolutely.
now you're bringing back Zeke in now.
Uh-huh.
Like I know it's like you're saying, it's like the offseason not been great, but I think from that point of view alone, what has been our weakest point in our offense is probably safe to say the run game kind of was a little bit tit for tat. We had to
Right.
rely more on CD Lamb a lot this year to kind of get us the wins and get move us upfield quite a lot. But yeah, I'm in the same stage as you. It's like I'm trying to keep low expectations. If we can get beyond that, then great. But it's like we need to be realistic. We can't just say, "Oh yes, Super Bowl every
Oh
year."
yeah.
We can't say
I
that,
know.
you know.
I know.
But
I know.
but Mike, you have got the mailbag questions in order, right?
Yeah. And actually, the first question I got is from our friends over in Germany, from Cowboys Nation Germany.
A big shout out to Cowboys Nation in Germany. Big shout out to our good friends over there.
Yeah, we're going full Worlds team today. So here's a question for you. This is what they're asking. Do we think that the Cowboys are done adding any more running backs to the running back room?
At this point, I believe yes. I mean, we have a very good core of running backs. They are calling a committee that the Cowboys have a running
Yeah.
back committee. And what we read from the OTAs from the very first trainings is that Rico Dowdle and Zeke were sharing snaps with the first team, right? So to be honest, I think Zeke and Rico Dowdle will do a great part as running backs. I am really excited to have Deuce Vaughn give a couple of opportunities. I think Deuce Vaughn running behind a really good offensive line, he will be dangerous. So I'm still looking forward this preseason to see how Deuce Vaughn will look and how he can make that jump on second year. But yeah, to be honest, I don't think that at this moment the Cowboys will be adding something else. Maybe if an injury happens in training
That's
camp
what I said.
or early in the preseason,
Yeah.
but at this moment, I don't think they are going to spend any other dollar in having another running back.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one, Eduardo. I totally agree with you on that. Also, we've got the next question for our good friend Stephen Nickel, Mike. Yes.
Yeah, he sent one in saying that if a deal doesn't get done before training camp with Dak, what do we see as the most likely outcome?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard
Well,
one.
I've got my answer on it, but let's do yours first, Eduardo.
Perfect, thank you. Well, let's remember that a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, when Dak also was in contract year, the deal was reached after the season. After everything happened, they didn't want to talk anything about contract during the preseason. Here's the thing. To be honest, I noticed Dak a little bit upset on how things have been talk about him, how the media is talking about him, how the Cowboys, yeah, on this year, Dak has a 60 million salary cap hit, but it's because the other years he was pushing his salary to make a little bit of room for the Cowboys to bring more players. And to be honest, the front office didn't bring no one who could help Dak Prescott and the team back then. So I believe that Dak is a little bit tired about being the bad guy from the story.
Yeah.
I noticed him talking to the media a little bit more upset than the usual. I know that he's a really a guy that his beliefs and how his thoughts are really strong. So I know that it won't affect in anything during the season, but maybe when the season is over and whatever happens on the season, maybe the Cowboys have a really good run, and now Dak wants to ask for more money that he is well deserved. You see the
Absolutely.
contracts that are getting from two other quarterbacks.
Jared Goff. There you
Jared,
go.
Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, the one that Tua will get. So yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott deserves every penny, and yeah, I think Dak will let his cards play during the season, and yeah, they will need to wait what happens this season.
Yeah, and I think you made a really great point. It's like the Cowboys made that decision in terms of how they structured the contract. So the backlash is on the front office, not on Dak Prescott.
Mhm.
Dak Prescott, like he's got his money, like he's got his contract, but it's how the Cowboys have structured the contract. That's why they're in that situation. So I think that's a really important key fact that you just outlined there. Like a lot of people are not like talking about that much. It's like, and you're right. Like it seems to be it's always on the player, but it's like it needs to go back to Jerry and Steven. As much as I appreciate what Jerry and Steven have done, they've done amazing things for the Cowboys, but when you're dealing with one of the toughest agents in the world in Todd France, then I can imagine how tough it can be to dealing with that. And fair play to him. I hate Todd France because he put us in that situation, but he got the best deal for his guy, and rightly deserved. But how Jerry and Steven like control the salary just to bring those other players in, there could have been other ways they could have done that. Like I mean, there was a couple of years ago with DeMarcus Lawrence when his he had excess money that was going to be a salary cap hit. Then they gave him that new contract as well, and it kind of worked out. So, but me, I'm very confident there is going to be a new deal. Because when I was talking to Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboys.com, when I was in Dallas last month, and I spoke to Mike about this for the past couple of weeks now, he said to me he is very confident that a new deal is going to get done. If not before camp, it's going to be during camp. So I'm
hopefully,
I'm very confident on that matter because don't get me wrong, what's the one thing I always say about quarterbacks in the first round in the NFL draft? They're never a guarantee.
Right. And I don't know all these fans that want Dak out of Dallas. I mean, I know that it is the frustration talking. I know that you are fans that haven't seen your team won in 29, 30 years. I mean, I haven't seen the Cowboys win even in the divisional round. So I am also frustrated. I'm also sad about trying to leave from the past days. But yeah, the quarterback isn't the problem. And as you said, quarterbacks, they don't appear every draft or every year. There's a great quarterback. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think Dak's 3,000 yards away from beating Troy Aikman's record and over 4,300 yards from beating Tony Romo. And that's an accomplishment as well. Right. Like he could be the all-time leader for the Cowboys in that regard. And it's so weird. Like I just can't see anyone for Dak's being nothing but the ultimate professional. What you want from a quarterback. Even if you go back to when it's Tony Romo, we still had fans get Romo out. But since Romo's retired, it's I wish we had Romo back. It was the same with Troy Aikman back in the 90s.
Be careful what you wish for.
I know. Exactly. It's like why can't you just not be happy exactly what we've got? It's I would rather have that Prescott than with Jalen Hurts or whoever.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So. And he is a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
it's
and these fans are talking if getting rid of Dak Prescott will be the solution. Immediately after he's gone, the team will win a championship. And it's okay, so you get rid of Dak Prescott, and now who will be your quarterback? Who will be playing as an MVP front runner, throwing 30+ touchdowns on every season? The mentality and the leadership that Dak Prescott gives to that team. So yeah, I know that it's the frustration talking, but yeah, it's not a plan. Good things won't happen if the Cowboys don't sign again Dak Prescott. And I'm also confident, and I want to believe that Dak will be a Cowboys for life.
That kind of leads the question, because obviously he's in his final year of his current contract right now. If Dak was to get 5,000 yards this season, he'll be the all-time leader. So now that leads to the question: do you put Dak Prescott in the Ring of Honor? Now that's a question itself, because a lot of fans will be a little bit, oh, he's not won us a Super Bowl. Near's Tony Romo, but he will be in the Ring of Honor
Yeah,
at some point.
eventually, I
Yeah.
think both will be there. But what was your answer to that question, Mike?
Well, from what I've been told, and when you look historically at what the Cowboys have done in the past with, I mean, Paul mentioned a couple of names, with like Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence. We've seen it numerous times that when they're in Oxnard, a big contract always gets done. What is a big contract this year? CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. You kind of
Micah.
need to get Dak done. Yeah, Mike is the next one, yeah. But you've got to get Dak done first before you do CD.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, because he's really the Jenga block that will make the entire tower fall if they don't get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dak's the glue. Dak is the glue.
Yeah.
But yes, but moving on to our final segment before we finish off, Mike, would you like to introduce our segment for Would You Rather?
Here we go. It's Would You Rather. So very, very simple. I give you two options. I think I know what you're going to choose on this one from the conversations we've had. But what we're talking about at the moment is wide receiver 3, right, guys? Watching OTAs, there's a lot of different things happening, and it's only OTAs, right? Everybody's in the best shape of their life. Everybody who's injured is ahead of schedule. Everybody knows the playbook already. You hear all these buzzwords. But wide receiver 3, who do we...
Oh, I think Mike's just frozen there.
Have I?
Trying to make things a little bit interesting.
Am I back?
Yeah, no, you're back now. You're back now.
All right,
you're
sorry.
good.
Yeah. So basically, what would you prefer to be wide receiver 3 from what we've seen so far? Jalen Tolbert or Kevontae Turpin?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I need to put there my boy Jalen Brooks. He's also competing for that spot. So.
Yeah.
See,
sure.
I was going to throw that extra name in the hat there as well. But out of the two that was mentioned, I would have for me it would have been Jalen Tolbert, because I think he's he's got a lot. This is his big year to really step it up this year. Because we know Turpin for me is going to be your guy, your city blanket when it comes to special teams. He'll be a guaranteed spot and still be that extra utility weapon in the offense. But for like Tolbert, it's a big year for him because Gallup's now gone. He's no longer with the Cowboys. He needs to step up. Obviously, we put a lot of faith in drafting him in the 3rd round. Right. So that's where my head's at with it.
Yeah, to be honest, I think will be Jalen Tolbert. As you said, last year he made a really good jump in his 2nd year, and this year, his 3rd year, I think he's finally having that confidence on what he did last year and trying to take advantage of this opportunity. Having out CeeDee Lamb in OTS is allowing these guys to compete, to have more reps, and having Michael Gallup out of the team will allow these guys to have more reps in games. So I believe Jalen Tolbert right now is like the more complete wide receiver. Jalen Brooks is also having a boost of confidence, and he worked with Dak during the offseason. So I think he will be also a good option. And to be honest, I want Kevontae Turpin to be all over the field. I want to see Kevontae Turpin in the backfield, inside the slot as an outside receiver, and they have to take advantage of his speed. Last year against the 49ers, he was the only one to score on a route that he won because of his speed. And I want to see Kevontae Turpin being utilized this year a lot. And I think
like some jet sweeps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he has a speed kind of. He reminds me a lot of Deshaun Jackson back in Philly.
That's a good shout. I like that.
He's a small wide receiver, but he's really speedy. So he can win easily with the speed. He's also very agile. So I think Jalen Tolbert will be wide receiver number 3, but we'll see a lot of good stuff from my boy Jalen Brooks, and Kevontae Turpin needs to be utilized a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm rooting for Jalen Brooks because he had a great off season and great training camp. It's just a shame we didn't get to see enough of him on the actual field during the regular season. So I'm hoping he gets a lot more game time this year. But Eduardo, I just want to thank you so much for coming on to the World's team today, and I really appreciate your time and telling us everything, your experience, your upcoming ventures for Cowboys season this year, and telling us how you became a Cowboys fan. So we just, from me and Mike, we just want to say thank you.
Oh
Of
no!
course.
Thank you, guys. It was really awesome to chat about how this process went, and obviously about our Cowboys. It's really awesome to be here sharing the stage with you and counting the days to see you in Dallas this year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah. So hopefully, I'll definitely get to see you in November then. So I'll be there at the Texans game. I'll definitely go and see Lloyd and stuff like that. The only downfall is a Monday night football game. It's the only downfall of it. But knowing how I know everyone is going to be there is because it's the Cowboys Texans game. It's going to be jam packed regardless.
Yeah.
So, but thanks again, man. But with that being said, where can everyone find you on social media?
On Instagram, I am lone.star.ace, and on X, Twitter, if you still call it Twitter, I am like, I am like underscore LeFlowers underscore.
Yeah, awesome. All right, but yeah, so Mike, do you want to give us a wee send off as well? Tell us where people can find you.
Oh yeah,
You go on,
sorry.
mate.
Go ahead. No.
No, go on. You're the guest.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say thank you, obviously, to you guys for having me here, to allow me to chat with you, to also share a few words with fans all over the world. It has been a dream come true living this experience and to be here with you and to try to connect with other fans. It has been really, really awesome. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and it's awesome to be here with you.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
This is what we were about.
Exactly. This is what we're all about. We're trying to make it more international, and what way to have it is actually have the inaugural 2024 first ever Cowboys International Fan of the Year on our show and actually talk about the whole experience. So it's like once again, mate, I'm very honored to have everyone here, and I cannot wait to have a couple of beers with you when I see you in November.
Absolutely.
And there's the added thing, the added spice to this conversation is obviously we've met you and we've actually physically had a drink and a beer with you. So there's that added injection of whatever you want to call it, the panache of it all.
Yeah, but yes, folks, that is before we do go, Mike, where everyone can follow you.
You can find me on Blogging the Boys and Fansided, where I do my articles. But you can find me on Twitter at Kenford Cowboy, both with a K. And where can they find you, Mr. P?
You can find me at IamPStew on Instagram and Twitter. But yes, folks, this is the end of the show. We will be back next week. And yes, we'll probably have a lot more to talk about. But just remember, folks, it's not just America's team. It is the world's team. And we will see you next week.
You've been listening to the World's Team Podcast. There's no other team like it in the world. Nothing more electrifying than the Dallas Cowboys. And we're here to prove it. We bring in fan groups from Germany, France, Brazil, the UK, Canada, Japan. We're everywhere, baby. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram at the.worlds.team, on Twitter at _worlds_team, and on YouTube at the Worlds Team. How about them Cowboys?
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
See you next time.